Even if she is married, don't give up just yet. Many men tend to throw in the towel too soon, believing the fight is over before it even starts. When she seems distant and unresponsive, you might interpret it as a sign that it's finished. But what if this situation is actually your best opportunity? Instead of reacting out of desperation, consider how you can change the dynamic to work in your favor without chasing her, begging, or sacrificing your self-worth. Most men fail to see this. They often act on impulse, allowing their emotions to guide their decisions, which can ruin any chance of improvement. So before you decide to walk away, take a moment to reflect. Because what you're about to discover could elevate you to a level most men never achieve. Men often panic when a woman starts to pull away, thinking she has lost interest, found someone new, or simply doesn't care anymore. However, attraction doesn't disappear instantly. It diminishes gradually. Initially, she experienced excitement, challenge, and uncertainty. Now she understands your position, and the intrigue has faded. She unconsciously tests your emotional stability. Do you remain calm, or do you react strongly? She requires space to rekindle her feelings. Attraction flourishes with distance, tension, and emotional changes, not through constant communication or reassurance. When something is always accessible, it loses its worth. This is where many men go wrong. Instead of responding to her withdrawal, they intensify their efforts, sending more texts, making more calls, trying harder. That's when attraction fades. If she doesn't have to work for your attention, she won't appreciate it. Many men fail to notice the subtle test when it occurs. When a woman distances herself, it often serves as an unconscious evaluation of emotional resilience. She observes, will he pursue her or will he remain steadfast? Does he genuinely have choices or is he merely pretending? This is where most men falter immediately. She may ignore them and they respond with another text. If she takes time to reply, they inquire if something is wrong. When she cancels plans, they rush to rearrange them. Each reaction reinforces her control. In contrast, the men who succeed in this situation, who distinguish themselves, do the opposite. They refrain from chasing, they don't demand explanations, and they maintain their stance. This is when a change occurs. She begins to experience feelings she didn't anticipate: regret. Most men often overlook a key truth. Women tend to fall in love with absence rather than presence. The less you offer freely, the more you increase your value. Consider this. When something is constantly available, it becomes easy to overlook. However, when it's gone, desire grows. This is why strategically pulling back can be your most effective tactic. Instead of being the first to text, hold off. Rather than liking her social media posts, let them be. Instead of reshaping your life around her, focus on your own priorities. When you become less predictable, less accessible, and less reactive, the dynamics shift. She will start to notice your absence and begin to question, why isn't he responding? Has he lost interest? Is he with someone else? When you stop giving without consideration, she will begin to miss you. Many men attempt to resolve issues by justifying their actions, demonstrating their value, or reassuring her of their emotions. However, attraction doesn't function that way. Instead of pursuing her, match her vibe. If she withdraws, don't try to make up for it. Reflect her distance and remain neutral. If she reaches out, acknowledge her but avoid overcommitting. When she returns, which she likely will, don't make the error of welcoming her back too readily. If she vanishes for a week and then sends a casual, "Hey," many men rush to respond, which is a mistake. Stay composed. Don't treat her message as the highlight of your day. Make her earn your attention. If she left, she must demonstrate her seriousness about returning. Take charge of the pace. Avoid reverting to old habits. Allow her to sense the distance before you give her too much attention again. By doing this, she will respect you more, as she'll realize she can't take you for granted. Not every woman will return, and you need to accept that. If she distances herself and doesn't come back, she's actually done you a favor by preventing you from wasting time on someone unsuitable. You don't want someone who stays because you pursue her. You want someone who chooses to be with you because she appreciates you. Many men fail to grasp the strength of silence. They think they must argue, explain, or fight for her attention when she starts to pull away. However, silence conveys more than words ever could. It introduces uncertainty, intrigue, and a shift in emotional dynamics. Initially, she might think you'll reach out, that you'll check in or attempt to mend things. But as days turn into weeks, a change occurs. She realizes you're not coming back. You're no longer predictable, no longer the guy who's always waiting in the wings. You've vanished from her life, creating an unexpected void. This compels her to reassess everything. Many women believe that men will always be around, assuming that no matter how much they distance themselves, you will remain available. Why wouldn't they think this way? Most men pursue and struggle with being apart. However, when you break this cycle by opting for silence rather than a reaction, you disrupt her expectations. She begins to question, why isn't he contacting me? Why hasn't he attempted to resolve this? Is he genuinely moving on? In that moment, she confronts a question she never anticipated. Did I misjudge him? This single thought evokes emotions she wasn't ready for, altering the entire dynamic in an unexpected way. Many men fail to get to this point because they quit too early. Initially, she feels okay, perhaps even relieved, thinking you'll contact her soon. But then, nothing. No messages, no phone calls, no interaction on her social media. Days turn into weeks. That's when a change occurs. She begins to check her phone more frequently, waiting for a message that doesn't arrive. For the first time, she feels unsure. She starts to wonder if she made a wrong choice. Now that you're not pursuing her, the dynamic shifts completely. A woman assesses your value by how hard you are to substitute. When you were consistently present, she never thought about the possibility of losing you. However, in your absence, an unsettling shift occurs. She begins to reflect on whether she undervalued you. She starts to doubt her previous judgment of your significance. The most striking aspect, she is often unaware that this is happening. It occurs naturally. When something is constantly accessible, it tends to blend into the background. But when it's gone, it turns into an enigma, and that enigma sparks attraction. When silence falls, she behaves like many women do. She begins to observe. She monitors your online presence, sifts through past messages, and might even like a post to gauge your reaction. Why does she do this? She's attempting to address a concern that wasn't there before. Have I really lost him? That thought consumes her attention. When a woman comes to the realization that she may have lost a man who was once completely committed to her, unexpected emotions arise. In that moment, she feels the profound impact of your absence. When she begins to gauge your interest, many men stumble. A simple "hey," a reaction to a post, or a message about something minor may seem insignificant. However, it's a test. She's assessing whether you're still engaged. If you reply too quickly or with too much enthusiasm, you give her the response she seeks. In an instant, the dynamic shifts. She realizes she can capture your attention whenever she likes, and soon after, her interest wanes again. When she eventually contacts you after a period of silence, many men perceive it as a win. They believe, she's returned, time to behave as usual. This is a mistake. This moment is crucial. How you respond will shape everything. You have two options: revert to old habits and allow her to take charge again, or maintain your composure and require her to earn your attention. Opting for the latter keeps her engaged, as you are no longer the same man she remembers. Now, you present a challenge, and challenges attract women. The essential change in mindset is recognizing this. You should never be the guy who is always available and constantly pursuing. Your attention should be directed towards your own life and priorities. By creating distance and allowing her to miss you, you increase your worth in her eyes. You transform into the man she feels she needs to earn, which fosters enduring attraction. A man who doesn't need to chase, doesn't rely on tricks to win women over. He succeeds by having standards, respecting his time, and requiring her to demonstrate that she deserves his attention. This is the distinction that sets apart men who get taken advantage of from those who leave a lasting impression. Everything changes at this point. Your silence is not just noticed, but truly felt. Initially, she thought you would return, that you would eventually reach out or attempt to reconnect. However, something deeper is unfolding now. Your absence has transformed from a minor annoyance to a significant emotional disruption for her. She finds herself checking her phone more frequently, hoping to see your name pop up. She revisits past conversations, questioning if she overlooked the signs of your departure. As time passes, her self-doubt grows. Did I push him away? Was I mistaken about him? Is he really gone for good? This realization, this shift, completely alters the dynamic in your favor. Many men fail to understand the true essence of the situation. It's not merely about missing you, it's fundamentally about control. She is coming to terms with the fact that she no longer holds the power she once had, and this realization disturbs her. When someone is unable to attain what they desire, they naturally begin to seek it out in other places. This is precisely what occurs when you cease to reach out. She attempts to fill the gap, contacting past relationships, looking for attention from new suitors, or sharing posts online in hopes of eliciting a response from you. Yet none of these actions provide the same satisfaction. The moment she starts to compare her experiences, she sets herself up for loss. Regardless of who she engages with, you remain at the forefront of her thoughts. You have turned into an enigma she cannot decipher, a persistent thought that lingers. The harder she tries to move on, the more she intensifies her own frustration. Her pride prevents her from acknowledging that she misses you. Women often grapple with two opposing forces, emotion and pride. Emotion experiences the loss, the regret, the yearning. Pride refuses to concede. Rather than openly expressing her feelings, she engages in subtle tactics. She might send a nonchalant message like, "Hey, hope you're doing well," hoping to catch your attention. She may share posts about how wonderful her life is, seeking your notice. Yet deep down, she's waiting, wishing you're still paying attention, wishing for a response. When you don't respond, the true struggle begins. Now she's left wondering if you've moved on or if you've achieved something that many men struggle with: emotional detachment. Detachment is what breaks her ego. When she finally understands that you were the true catch, everything changes. You weren't just another guy in her life. You weren't someone she could keep around indefinitely. You weren't someone who would wait forever. The hardest part, she realizes this too late. By now, you've transformed. You've evolved into a man who no longer seeks her approval. In that moment, she comprehends what you always knew. The real strength was never in her acceptance, but in your choice to walk away. Now she's the one left wondering if she'll ever have another opportunity. Many men stumble at this point. When she finally reaches out, they fall into the same old pattern, responding too quickly, showing too much eagerness, and giving her the validation she seeks. Once she gets what she wants, she vanishes again. This is why you need to approach this differently than most men do. If she returns, stay composed. Don't rearrange your life just because she sends a message. Don't make her the focal point of your existence simply because she shows renewed interest. Avoid repeating the behaviors that caused her to take you for granted initially. Instead, let her put in the effort. If she genuinely values you, she will demonstrate it through her actions, not just her words. If she doesn't, you've already come out ahead. You've realized that you never truly needed her. Don't pursue her. Focus on your own growth. If she disappointed you, don't plead or chase after her. Concentrate on self-improvement, keep progressing, and let your silence convey your worth. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.